I'm with Scott Emmons, the head of the Neiman Marcus Innovation Lab, and I'm really interested to learn more about how you're innovating in luxury, because luxury is such a unique space in that you have special customers, white glove service, high touch customer service. I'm really keen to learn how you are bringing innovation into at least the physical experience to start with, and maybe how you would even connect those customers in a digital world.
Yeah. So, I think, bringing innovation into that physical experience was, kind of low-hanging fruit, if you will, for us, because we didn't have much in the way of technology in the stores. And, so when we talk about what I do at Neiman Marcus in terms of innovation, it is using technology to connect with customers. So I don't own all of innovation at Neiman Marcus, right? But when it comes to technology, we didn't have a lot of technology in the store, so I had a lot of options. And, so we... had a green field, if you will, to go out and play with it.
Which is exciting as a technologist, to be sure.
It is, and
or daunting.
Well, I didn't have any set of instructions, so when we started thinking about how we were going to approach this, I think it was pretty basic. What solves real problems for the customer, right? And so we wanted to stay focused on the customer, put the customer at the front of everything we thought about in terms of technology for the stores. And, it's turned out, it's a pretty good approach to it, because, if you just follow the new and the trendy, you'll get some flashes in the pan that are interesting and people will talk about, and then they'll go away if they're not actually making something better or easier when the customer's shopping.
Mm-hmm. So what are some of the things that you think work well in terms of technology that you might have brought in and tested in the stores or deployed in the stores that work well in a luxury environment? What kind of characteristics do they have?
So you have to, sort of observe how the customer shops, and the technology can't get in the way of that process, which, is really, a journey of discovery is what they're doing. So the technology needs to fit in right into the discovery process. I think that's why Memory Mirror caught so many people's attention, because it just made sense. When you thought of, when you understood what the concept was, that this would really fit into that shopping journey. I think, and I think it's why in other areas like mobile wallets and those sorts of things, there's still a lot of experimentation going on, because the flow of that is not really. It's not natural yet in a lot of cases.
Let's talk about the memory mirror for a moment too, because it is natural. And can you expand on how that came to be for Neiman Marcus and maybe some of the capabilities it's enhancing for the luxury customer experience?
Yeah, so that's one that came to me. We had some executives that were in New York, and they were visiting with Gensler, which is one of the design firms that we use. And Gensler had a very early prototype of the memory mirror that they saw, and somebody said, "Oh, we have an iLab guy. We'll send him this and see what he thinks." And so, I got a little video from someone, and took a look at it, and I was like, "Wow, that is incredible." We went down about a 14-month journey from that point. Taking that very crude early prototype that had a lot of promise, and turning that into a product that was actually deployable and maintainable, and customers it was easy for the customers to use. Go through all the processes with legal to make sure that we're protecting the data properly, and that we're adhering to whatever the local and state and national laws are, right? Around privacy and so forth, right? There were all sorts of things that had to be worked out to bring that to a product that we could actually deliver to the store.
When you look at a luxury customer experience, I think of, my sales associate tracks everything that I've ever bought, and they send me photos, and they know they have a relationship with you.
Right.
It really is all about relationships there, and you're going from the paper, customer profiling, customer clienteling books into, now some digital way of doing that. Is the memory mirror a tool in using some of those things?
Absolutely. And, first of all, let me tell you, we made that exact journey, from black book, paper black book in every sales associate's hands, to transformation to iPhones in every associate's hands, and building an app that contained all that information, that they already knew about their customers. But now it was in an enterprise repository where we could leverage it across, the business, as opposed to just one associate having that information in her own personal black book.
That's so fascinating.
Yeah,
Okay,
so we really did, we actually made that exact journey that you described. And so now you look at the memory mirror, which it is a customer-facing, interactive digital experience. But we've baked in a whole sales associate interface into that as well. That you never, from a customer's point of view, they never see. But the associates can go out and make their own videos of product. And then send those to customers.
Really?
So basically, it gives them a high definition video studio that they can use in the store to build this, collection of beautiful videos of merchandise. And I think that when you send a video of the merchandise, especially when you're talking about fashion merchandise, where the flow and the drape of the garment and all those all matter, that they can tell a better story when they share with their customers, videos of the items as opposed to photographs, which is what they were doing before.
I didn't know that. So that's really amazing, because I think the associate, and this is a theme I keep hearing more and more and more about, is empowering the associate, right? And really using them as a tool to deploy and create those, to deploy solutions and create those relationships with the customer, but really helping them to not only be more successful in their job, but really be the ambassador and the ambassador to your customer and the ambassador in deploying those solutions successfully.
No doubt that the sales associate is the most important asset that we have in the store, and so we do want to arm her, with the best tools there are, when she's trying to sell to the customer. Now, there is you can't just throw technology in the store and expect sales associates to necessarily adopt it, naturally. It does require training. You do have to, show them, that there's a value, and that this is going to make their relationship with the customer better. And ultimately, our goal is, right, to sell more, to the customer, and so we have to demonstrate that this will help her do that.
So when you look at the future of retail for luxury and technology, what are some critical pieces you think we're going to be looking at moving forward in, let's say, the next 5 to 10 years out?
It's going to be really hard to guess what's going to happen 10 years, even 5 years out, based on how quickly the changes in technology are coming at us. I think that, we've witnessed this, rapid blending of what we could do online with what we wanted, what we could do previously in the store, and that continues to just merge and meld. And we're not going to be talking about channels. We already aren't talking about channels, right? To the customer, Neiman Marcus is not Neiman Marcus Online or Neiman Marcus Stores. It's just Neiman Marcus. So we're looking for technologies that help us, continue to, go down that path of, one view of the customer, from our perspective, and from the customer's perspective, one view of Neiman Marcus. So I think that all the buzzwords that you hear about, beacons and augmented reality and virtual, and whenever you're talking about innovation, right, these are the things that come up, right?
Yes.
And I think they're all going to be important, and none of them are going to look like what they look like today in 5 years. All the things we thought were going to be the next big thing are already have kind of moved on, and what we'll be looking at 5 years from now is going to be something we haven't imagined yet.
I'm just going to throw this one thing in, and this will be maybe my last thing on the future of retail with that. I thought about self-driving cars for luxury. So does that play, are you looking at connected car, self-driving car? Because it just seems to be a natural place.
I don't know. There's so many different things to look at. So, I can't say that I've spent a lot of time on self-driving cars, so they fascinate me, and I can't wait till I can just read the news while I'm on my way to work and not have to worry about commuting anymore. I think that's our jetpacks,
yes,
right? That are coming. So, I think that our customers will be using that technology, and if I were trying to figure out what's the play for me, if that's a thing, then I need to figure out how to get the customer in the self-driving car and have it self-drive to Neiman Marcus. Right.
I like that, and that is like the perfect close to our conversation today. Scott, thank you so much. This has really been enlightening, and I look forward to the next time we get to do this.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.